and in fact, paraded on social media. So all of these women were filmed, and then their pictures were put on social media. This is one of the example of what happened there in Bengaluru, of these women in public places being filmed by this pervert. Let me tell you in detail as far as this story is concerned. Their dignity, the women's dignity, in fact, stolen, their voices silenced. The 26-year-old man accused of operating an Instagram account that posted videos and photographs of women in Bengaluru without their consent was arrested following a complaint which was lodged by a woman. She first, in fact, put her ordeal on Instagram, which went viral, and the police acted and arrested this man in this case. The case came to light when a woman took to Instagram to raise an alarm over the content alleging she has been recorded without her knowledge or permission or consent while walking in the city. More, in fact, action is likely in this Bengaluru Voyeurs case. Central Division Bengaluru Police has also, in fact, said that they have taken cognizance of NDTV report, and now the incident is being further investigated. The Chief Minister also reacted to this. Let's listen in.
Tell us, have you been particularly monitoring such crimes? Tell us, how have you been looking into such cases?
So Bangalore City Police has a very active social media presence, and we monitor any such criminal activities being done online. Now, with respect to the first case, which was in Metro, it had alerted us to the presence of certain such perverse elements in the society, who create a really unsafe environment for women and commuters. Following this, a page also came to our notice in June, where a person was found clicking objectionable pics and videos of women. The investigation has revealed one accused, who is a resident of KR Puram, a 26-year-old man, and he has been arrested, and he has confessed to posting such videos and photos of women taken without their consent, with voyeuristic intentions.
This is not the only incident which, in fact, puts the safety of the women, and what they go through on the streets. It's like, you're going through your work to, wherever, to meet your friends, with your family, and those kind of moments are also being recorded and put on social media for other perverts to, in fact, look at it and take perverse pleasure out of that. Now, this is not, as I said, this is not the only incident which has come to light in Bengaluru itself. There have been other incidents. Let me very quickly just tell our viewers, of the other one which happened few days back in Bengaluru itself. It was in the metro train, a similar incident where a man was filming women without their consent or permission, and he had made an account which was called the Metro Chicks. And was putting all these, videos and pictures there as well on this very account. The police then later, after a lot of hue and cry, and when this people raised objections to it, the police then arrested this man as well. There have been more than 3,000, in fact, followers as far as this account was concerned, almost 4,000 followers, all of them looking at these pictures and using them as far as this entire incident, the other one in Metro, is concerned. Deepak, my colleague, joins me at this moment with more details on this story. Deepak, it's disturbing to see. It's almost like a trend that is emerging in Bengaluru in both these cases. If you look at that, without consent, women are being clicked, whether they are on their way to work or they are, at any other place with their families or friends without their permission, and then being used in social media and other places to garner eyeballs.
Well, it's not just to garner eyeballs, but probably even generate revenue, and that's the concerning factor here. Exploiting in the name of content, shooting obscene content, videos, not taking consent of the women, putting it out there, and then eventually, these sort of handles growing so much that they could eventually even make money of it is a larger problem. And this is not a Bengaluru problem. This could be happening in various parts of the country, especially in the metro and cosmopolitan cities. Here, of course, a woman had flagged off concerns, and fortunately, the police as well have been keeping a close watch on such accounts that are operating out of Bengaluru. You mentioned earlier there was a page earlier which was putting out content of women in the metro, walking towards the metro and so on. And there as well, the content that was being put was quite bizarre. And there too, there seemed some level of perversion from the person who was putting it out, and the cops had arrested. They were monitoring social media for similar content. They came across this handle. The woman, of course, who had also raised this concern, flagged it off much more. Finally, we've seen an arrest come by, but a larger number of policemen being put out there to monitor social media content is probably the need of the hour, not just in Bengaluru, like I said, in other parts of the country as well.
All right, Deepak, thank you for joining us with all those details at this moment. I'm very glad that the police has been proactive and they have taken action against this. But trust me, there are many others across the country, as Deepak was pointing out, those who have made it their business, in fact, to click women, picture them when they are not ready, then they have not given any permission, and when they don't even know that they are being filmed, and that is somehow put in a different context on social media to try and garner eyeballs and generate revenue out of it as well. We are hoping that across the country there is strict action which is taken. If you find yourself, a victim of such kind of incidents, make sure that you report it to the police. Thanks to this woman, and let me play out her reaction, who put it out, who found herself on one of these pages and then went on to, in fact, narrate her ordeal on Instagram.
I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to do this at all, but nothing has worked so far. So here I am, telling you guys about it, and I really hope I get your support. I'm a student studying in Bangalore, and recently there was a video of me shot in public in Church Street, shot very inappropriately, and then posted online without my consent. I tried contacting the person behind the account. There was no response. I tried reporting it from multiple accounts, but apparently it says that it follows all the community guidelines, and I don't even know what community guidelines are for Instagram at this point. The reel has been getting views by the minute, and people are finding my account and have been getting vulgar messages, to say the least. And there are a lot of women like me who have been posted on that account, and I don't think they're aware of it. And the fact that the account has 10,000 followers, and to see that if this is what it's becoming normal on social media, then we need to speak up. We need to do the right thing, because while we are out there fighting for languages, I think there are more serious concerns to be addressed. I am tagging Bangalore Police and Cybercrime to help me take that account down, and I really hope you guys do as well, because numbers speak.
Kudos to her for having the courage, coming out, putting this out for other women also to follow. And I'm very, very happy to report that after we started reporting this story, the Bengaluru police has put this pervert behind bars, and we are hoping strict action is taken against this man who was in fact filming women without their consent and putting it out just to make a few quick bucks. Let's listen in. There have been women, the story has connected across the country. They've spoken to us. As we always say, India speaks on NDTV. Your voice matters to us, and this is what women had to say.
It's very annoying, first of all, because why are you recording me without my consent? And it's also very like, what are you going to do with that? So I think it's triggering for a reason, but it's also key, like, you need to respect someone else's privacy. If you don't want your video to be taken like that, you shouldn't be taking for other people.
Before planning and going out, we have to plan, like, do we need to have someone with us, or we can't go like alone. So this is the main reason, and I think it should be stopped and something should be done for this.
I guess it's really horrible to post anything like if you post without their consent any video or photo, it's really horrible for them.
I think there should be more strict actions that are taken, and that should be done spontaneously. I think most of us weren't aware of this until and unless we saw these videos put up, and until it went viral, I don't think anyone even knew about this. So I think stricter action should be taken, and it should be done as quick as possible.
It's not just, we can't put the blame just on Meta or some platform as such. It's the people behind it that has to be tracked down, and it's the things that people in power do regarding this.
It is very important because most of the time such things, if happens to us, we'll be numb and we'll not be able to react properly. So if policies are implemented, then it will be much more easier for us to walk through the streets.
My account is on Instagram, but it's public, and I have another account which is private, but I think it's not always possible to hide everything. But I feel like sometimes it's a safety concern, and there should be consent, and people should just politely ask if it's okay.
Yeah, taking the pictures, they should ask actually, because my faces will be visible in somewhere that is not correct actually.
We are hoping to put more of such voices out so that there is a policy level change. But if you at this moment, if you find yourself at the receiving end of such perverts, you find your pictures, videos being put without your consent, what can you do? What are the rights that, as a victim that you have on this? Let me go across to Virag Gupta. All right, I've just been told that we have lost that line with Mr. Gupta. We'll try and reconnect with him and see. And because I wanted to understand, legally speaking, what are the options? What can you do as a if you are at the receiving end of such crimes? And with our lives now being put more and more, all of us putting our pictures, on social media, on Instagram, on X, on other things. This now becomes a very, very important, aspect. The privacy, security, that becomes a very, very important aspect. As I said, this is not the only, Bengaluru is not the only city, and there have been other instances like this as well. In December 2024, a video of a couple kissing at a metro station in Kolkata, that was taken, and it went viral, and then of course there were a lot of hue and cry about this. The police warned those who uploaded the video, and also said that they will take strict action again. Let people, in fact, be. Why is it that it is so necessary for people to not only, it's not that I'm condoning any sort of indecency in public, but the fact remains that videos are being posted of people without their consent. In May 2025, in Bengaluru, a man posted videos of women in metro. He was arrested. He had more than 5,000 followers. I was talking about this earlier, the metro chicks. He made, a full Instagram account, was monetizing that account and using it to make quick buck. The police arrested this man. And then again, now this incident has come to light in July 2025, when Infosys staff was arrested for filming his women colleague in the campus washroom. Imagine that. An engineer, in fact, he was the one who was arrested, and he was posting these videos online. It is absolutely horrific, and it's dangerous that all this has been happening. All right, let's move on now. There is some breaking news, in fact, coming in at this moment on the broadcast. Let me very quickly shift to that. Breaking news coming in from Gurugram, where a tennis player, Radhika Yadav, has been shot dead by her own father. This is what the news is. In fact, what we are told at this moment, that the father shot her 5 times. She has been hit by 3 bullets. She was shot dead at her residence in Sushant Log in Gurugram. The motive and the reason is yet unclear, and the police has arrested the father, and at this moment are investigating the case. So very shocking incident, in fact, being reported at this moment. 5 shots were fired at Radhika, 3 bullets hit her, and she died. All right, another breaking news at this moment. String of important news coming in. It's a setback for Mamata Banerjee government from the Calcutta High Court at this moment. The court has upheld a single bench order and has said that the tainted candidates cannot be recruited in the government schools. So it's a setback over the 25,000 teachers which were axed after the Supreme Court order. In fact, the Supreme Court, remember, had axed to 25,000 jobs in the alleged SSC scam case. The West Bengal government was asked to notify fresh recruitment as per the Supreme Court order. The Calcutta High Court has now dismissed West Bengal government's plea in favor of some tainted school staff and tainted candidates of 2016 panel, and the court has said that it cannot take part in the fresh recruitment process, which has been notified by the government of West Bengal. The Supreme Court verdict directed the state to finish the recruitment process by the end of this year. The West Bengal government had argued in favor of some of these candidates, stating that they had already been punished and cannot be stopped from earning a livelihood, and hence they should be allowed to take part in this new drive as well. All right, moving on now, ladies and gentlemen, to our other big focus this evening, the Enforcement Directorate, and it's a huge lens on the Tollywood superstars, and you name them, the biggest ones, and all of them at this moment facing the ED heat. The ED has registered a case, in fact, against 29 celebrities, including actors Vijay Deverakonda, Rana Dugabati, Prakash Raj, and several other social media influencers as well, for allegedly promoting, on online platforms, betting, apps. After a businessman filed a complaint accusing the celebrities of promoting betting apps via social media, pop-up acts, and other channels. Now, other celebrities include among, them, as you're seeing the galaxy of these stars, Nidhi Agarwal. We also have Manchu Lakshmi and the TV hosts Srimukhi and Shamala, along with some YouTube influencers, those who are also at this moment facing the ED heat. Now, the Enforcement Directorate is investigating this case. Now, let me very quickly tell you in detail who are these big stars, those who are facing this ED case. ED has filed this case against 29 celebrities, and it's looking at their role as far as these betting apps are concerned. Top South movie stars have been named in the Enforcement Directorate, inquiry. The case has been against influencers and YouTubers as well. Case is linked to illegal betting platforms which are being promoted online. Celebs allegedly promoted bet apps, and now the Enforcement Directorate is looking at the money laundering angle involved in this, because they believe many of these people have been given ill-gotten money, that too in cash, and that is what is going to now be the trouble as far as these celebrities are concerned. They will have to come and explain to the Enforcement Directorate their role and what kind of payment did they get for all these betting apps. Now, what have these celebrities said, on the allegations which have been made against them? Vijay Deverakonda has said that a skill-based gaming platform, not illegal betting, was what he was promoting. Rana Dugabati has also, in fact, reacted to this, and he has said that collaboration with the gaming app ended in 2017, and he has nothing to do with anything which is going on at this moment. Prakash Raj has said that legally sound but didn't align with ethical values, and that's why he does not any longer promote any of these betting apps. Let me go across at this moment to my colleague Uma Sudhir, who is joining me with more details on this story. Uma, there have been these instances earlier which were almost like a warning sign, and it's just not in South India. There have been in other states as well, where many celebrities were facing the heat of the investigation for all these online betting platforms. Where is the investigation, and will all these superstars will also be questioned by the Enforcement Directorate?
So celebrities coming in for criticism for brand endorsement for online and offline products as well. And in this particular case, online betting apps, and in the month of March, we had reported on how FIRs had been filed against all these stars, the same 29 celebrities, so to speak, in Telangana as well as in Andhra Pradesh, in Visakhapatnam, Suryapet, Cyberabad, Miapur area, in all those areas, saying that the presence of the celebrity had added credibility and in that sense had influenced these people to invest their money in the betting app, giving it some halo of credibility, and that's something that got demolished because they lost their money, and subsequently an individual had filed the case, and it was under not just the BNS but also under the IT Act and the Telangana Gambling Act as well, and it is based on those FIRs that the Enforcement Directorate has now filed the enforcement case information report. And as you mentioned, yes, they will be probing the money laundering angle to it, because they suspect that the big amounts of money that was paid to these celebrities may have also been a route for money laundering, and that's the reason why the Enforcement Directorate now wants to call these people in for questioning. Yes, yesterday we had reported on Mahesh Babu being summoned by the Consumer Commission here in Rangareddy district for endorsement of a real estate project. In that case as well, the ED and the police had also called him for questioning, but subsequently he has let off. But certainly drawing attention to the fact that you can't lend your brand or your name to something that subsequently ends up being in kind of waters that are certainly muddy.
Well, thank you so much for joining us with all those details. Uma Sudhir has been tracking this story. Will get us the latest as far as the trouble for the Southern Stars is concerned for promoting online betting apps. All right, with that, we are slipping into a very short break. On the other hand, we'll shift our focus on the Supreme Court's refusal to stay the SIR, Special Intensive Revision Drive, which is going on in Bihar. But it has come with a word of advice for the Election Commission. I'll get you the details after a short break. Stay tuned.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand.
That's huge. That is a biggie. It's out there.
Gold Plus Clear Glass. पार हो या नियर, सब कुछ दिखे क्लियर।
कहना इस दीवार पे इतने इश्तहार चिपके हैं कि कोई दरार नजर नहीं आती। मैं उन लोगों में से जो कहता हूँ सारे इश्तहार फाड़ के फेंको, पहले दरार को एड्रेस करो।
ये दरार इसलिए क्योंकि कुछ लेफ्ट कुछ राइट, पर हम उन मुद्दों में आपके साथ जिनसे आपकी फाइट है। डिजिटल से देश समझा, अब टीवी पर समाधान लाना है। आइए मेरे साथ खबरों की कचहरी में सिर्फ NDTV पर।
बदलाव की इच्छा रखने वाले लोग, उनको ये तय करना है कि वो जनसुराज जैसे नए विकल्प को चुनते हैं कि फिर पिटे पिटाए अपनी पुरानी व्यवस्था में जाना चाहते हैं।
मैं चिराग पासवान पूरी तरीके से बिहार विधानसभा का चुनाव लड़ने के लिए तैयार हूँ और तत्पर।
तेजस्वी जी मुख्यमंत्री बने हैं, हमारी पूरी सपोर्ट है उनको। हम किंग मेकर की भूमिका में रहना चाहते हैं।
ये लोग घर से बाहर नहीं निकल पाते थे।
प्रधानमंत्री जी को बताना चाहिए कि इनका जो बिहार में जो सरकार है, 50% जो नीतीश जी की मंत्रिमंडल में जो लोग बैठे वो परिवारवादी लोग हैं। वो अपने आप को भी परिवारवादी बोले।
जंगल राज लाने वाले मौका देख रहे हैं, अपने पुराने कारनामे करने का मौका ढूंढ रहे हैं।
Some say sport is a matter of life and death. The truth is, it is far more serious than that. Sport is about ecstasy and agony, about pain and suffering, about joy and much more. Some say there's no one better to tell these stories. So here I am. Join me, Boria Majumdar, on India's #1 news network.
Welcome back. Very important hearing in the Supreme Court today on the demand for a stay as far as the SIR drive which is being conducted in Bihar is concerned. The top court today heard both the sides and gave some sort of a relief as far as the Election Commission is concerned. The top court refused to stay the entire drive, but this came with a sense of advice. The Supreme Court said, and some very important questions in fact argued and raised during the hearing, some of the best legal minds, including Kapil Sharma, Abhishek Manu Singhvi and the others were arguing from both the sides, and some very important points were in fact touched as far as this hearing is concerned, which is going to have a very important impact on the upcoming Bihar elections. Let me very quickly first tell you what all in fact happened in the court. The result of which is that there is a big relief for the poll panel from the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has refused to stay the voter list revision exercise which is going on in Bihar. The Supreme Court, though, has asked the Election Commission, a list of 11 documents is not exhaustive. The court has also batted for inclusion of Aadhaar, voter ID and ration card in this entire exercise. The Supreme Court upheld EC's right to hold the voters' survey. The court also, in fact, went on to ask and the timing as far as this entire survey is concerned. Why just before the elections of Bihar? And is this time, the 1 month time, enough for people to come and appeal if they have been disenfranchised? Now, very quickly, let me also tell you why the Election Commission, and the Election Commission tried to present its point of view, why they have said no to Aadhaar, the card which was supposed to end all cards in the country. Aadhaar is not technically proof of citizenship. Very importantly, while this argument was being made, the court has also said that the Election Commission is actually not the agency for anybody to prove their citizenship. The foreign nationals can also be issued Aadhaar card. Aadhaar is only a proof of identity, says the Election Commission, and for the purpose of Aadhaar is for this purpose, the Aadhaar is unusable, not usable as far as this entire exercise is concerned. There have been some important reactions which have come in on this from both the opposition and the government. Listen in.
सर्वोच्च न्यायालय का शुक्रिया। हाहाकार मचा हुआ था पूरे बिहार में, जिंदगियां उथल पुथल में थी। एग्जैक्ट अगर मैं वर्ड कहूं माननीय सर्वोच्च न्यायालय का कि प्राइमा फेसी वी बिलीव दैट इलेक्शन कमीशन मस्ट कंसीडर, यानी कि इलेक्शन कमीशन को स्वीकार करना चाहिए कि ये जो 3 दस्तावेज हैं, आधार कार्ड, EPIC वोटर ID कार्ड और राशन कार्ड को उन दस्तावेजों की श्रृंखला में शामिल करना चाहिए ताकि मैक्सिमम लोग इंक्लूड किए जा सके। मैं समझता हूं करोड़ों बिहारियों की जीत है। इस प्रक्रिया को पारदर्शी बने रहना चाहिए। अप्रोच ये होना चाहिए कि ये इंक्लूजन में तब्दील हो, एक्सक्लूजन में तब्दील ना हो।
विपक्ष को एक बार फिर से करारा झटका लगा। सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने स्पष्ट निर्देश दिया है कि बिहार में SIR जारी रहेगा, विशेष पुनरीक्षण जारी रहेगा। सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जो भी निर्देश है उसका अक्षरतः पालन होगा। इलेक्शन कमीशन का भारतीय जनता पार्टी पूर्ण सहयोग करेगी और अब तो हम ये सलाह देते हैं विपक्ष को कि अब रोना धोना छोड़े और इस पूरी प्रक्रिया में इलेक्शन कमीशन का साथ दे, क्योंकि अब सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने भी बिल्कुल स्पष्ट तौर पे कह दिया है कि ये प्रक्रिया जारी रहेगी।
Let's try and understand this first in the legal terms. What does this mean? Because there is another hearing on 28th of this month, which the court will be listening both sides on as far as this case is concerned. Professor Faizan Mustafa, Vice Chancellor, Chanakya National Law University, is joining us at this moment. He's a constitutional expert. So thank you for speaking to us. Let me very quickly begin by asking you, what do you make of what the Supreme Court has said today? It has, in fact, reinforced and said that it is a legal right of the Election Commission to indulge in this kind of exercise and has refused to stay, this entire drive which the Election Commission is conducting in Bihar.
Ankit, thank you very much for having me. As a student of constitutional law, I can't be taking the line which opposition or ruling party are taking, or even media channels giving the kind of headlines. If you read the first line of the order, which is there on live law, it goes like this: the petitioners are not pressing for an interim stay at this stage. What you make out of this? That they were not seeking a stay. And therefore, to say that the court did not stay is a huge win for the Election Commission may not be entirely right.
Okay.
In fact, nobody in the country ever thought that the Supreme Court will say, well, Election Commission does not have the power to make the revision of this voters, because after all, it's a constitutional authority.
Right.
It exclusively has this power to do it. Now, what the court today said that there are three big issues. One, whether Election Commission has power to do it, because the question is that under Section 21, Election Commission can do this kind of spatial intensive revision for a constituency. It is a question. In law, many a times, a constituency will also mean all constituencies. So maybe at the end of the judgment, the court says, well, they have a power to do it.
Okay.
Even though the petitioners are making out a case that you could have done it in XYZ constituency, but not in the entire state. To the Supreme Court, and this was the heart of this debate in the court, that process, is your process just, fair, reasonable, arbitrary? And if you look at the kind of questions which came from the bench, bench really had huge anxiety about the process, and then they also said about the timing.
Absolutely.
Now, thirdly, Ankit, the court was at loss to understand why you are looking at a question of citizenship, because that is not your power.
Yes.
Now, this you can say is a major setback to the Election Commission. That saying that you are basically looking at citizenship. Now, what was argued from the Election Commission? We are looking for identity. Then they considered, no, we are also looking at a citizenship. And then the Supreme Court said, well, if somebody is not a citizen and a complaint is made to you, you have a right to purge the voter list. You can remove anybody's name. But at the time of inclusion, you can't be looking at the citizenship question.
That's very important. I mean, you have underlined these three important points. Let me then ask you this before I let you go, sir. Do you now believe the onus, because the court also underlined it, that they also are of the opinion that, not a single voter should be left out of the process, should be disenfranchised. And the court had also, in fact, gone on to say they questioned the Election Commission on not only the timing, but also the duration, that if somebody is left out, will that person have enough time to appeal to the Election Commission, so on and so forth. Do you believe now the onus in the next hearing is on the Election Commission, to prove why Aadhaar, and other documents should not be used, and number two, what will they do to ensure that the fear about people being, moving out of the electoral process, of not being able to use their voting right, what does the Election Commission do on that?
Ankit, I would say a constitutional authority makes room for graceful exit for another constitutional authority. By clearly asking the Election Commission that you consider EPIC, this voter ID card and ration card and Aadhaar, I think the court is trying to persuade Election Commission. And I am sure that the Election Commission will now sit, and they will most likely, in my opinion, at least the Aadhaar card and possibly, the voter ID card as well, and then go to the court that we considered your suggestion and we have implemented it. What the Supreme Court has also said that we are fixing the date on 28th of July, which is before you publish your voter, draft voter list. So on 28th, they are going to have a full-fledged final hearing. Would believe that Election Commission has also said it in that 24th June order that they also don't intend to exclude any voter. So it was a difficult day for the Election Commission in the court because on the process, on the timing, they had very difficult questions to answer from the bench. they have tried to say that it is an illustrative list of documents.
Okay.
But when you have a time frame that you have to complete it, can't be saying it is illustrative. So most likely the Election Commission may concede to the suggestion given by the Supreme Court, and if they include other documents, it will be a huge victory and it will be good for the voter list.
And a big relief for the people of Bihar as well if that happens, because it will be a very, very important hearing on 28th, and we will have to wait and see what the Election Commission comes back with in front of the Supreme Court. So thank you at this moment for joining me on this broadcast. Ashwani Upadhyay is also with us, advocate, Supreme Court, one of the petitioners, in favor of what the Election Commission is doing as far as this case is concerned. Ashwani जी, सबसे पहले मैं आपसे जानना चाहूँगा आज जो हुआ उसको आप किस तरीके से देखते हैं, क्योंकि अधिकतर लोग ये देख रहे हैं और ये petitioners ने कहा भी कि आज हम कोई स्टे की बात करने नहीं आए थे, हम इंटरिम स्टे की बात नहीं कर रहे थे, तो क्या ये एक जीत के तौर पर देखेंगे, बूस्ट के तौर पर देखेंगे, किस तरीके से आप आज का फैसला देख रहे हैं?
नहीं अंकित जी, देखिए, जैसे सुप्रीम कोर्ट का अपना काम है वैसे इलेक्शन कमीशन का अपना काम है, और सुप्रीम कोर्ट और इलेक्शन कमीशन में कोई भी संस्था ऊपर नीचे नहीं है, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन से चलने वाले, एक आर्टिकल 124 से चलता है, एक 324 से चलता है, दोनों अपने अपने फील्ड के हैं। जैसे हम सुप्रीम कोर्ट के बारे में कहते हैं या सीजीआई के बारे में कहते हैं मास्टर ऑफ रोस्टर, वैसे ईसीआई जो है वो मास्टर ऑफ इलेक्शन है। ईसीआई की ड्यूटी है सुनिश्चित करना कि वो फ्री एंड फेयर इलेक्शन करवाए। अब फ्री एंड फेयर इलेक्शन का मतलब ये हुआ एक भी योग्य व्यक्ति न छूटे, लेकिन एक भी अयोग्य व्यक्ति न जुड़ जाए, एक भी एलिजिबल कैंडिडेट वोटिंग लिस्ट से बाहर ना हो, लेकिन एक भी इलीगल व्यक्ति, चाहे वो फॉरेनर है, घोस्ट है, फेक डॉक्यूमेंट है, कुछ भी किया है, उसका नाम नहीं जुड़ना चाहिए। 2003 में जब ये प्रक्रिया हुई थी बिहार में, उस समय इलेक्शन कमीशन ने केवल 3 डॉक्यूमेंट को कंसीडर किया था, चौथा डॉक्यूमेंट एक्सेप्ट ही नहीं किया था। इस बार की प्रक्रिया में 3 डॉक्यूमेंट को उन्होंने बढ़ा के 11 डॉक्यूमेंट कर दिया।
ओके।
लेकिन टोटल जो आज पिटीशन फाइल हुई उसमें ज्यादातर लोगों का कहना है कि आप आधार
माफी चाहूंगा, मुझे आपको यहाँ रोकना पड़ रहा है। देयर इज अ ब्रेकिंग न्यूज, इंपॉर्टेंट न्यूज कमिंग इन एट दिस मोमेंट। आई विल हैव टू कट टू दिस ब्रेकिंग न्यूज, मिस्टर उपाध्याय। News coming in at this moment, ladies and gentlemen. There have been firing which has been reported at Kapil Sharma, the comedian actor, his restaurant in Canada. And it is in fact being said that it has been done at the hands of the Khalistani extremist terrorist Harjeet Singh. Is the one. Harjeet Singh Laddi has taken responsibility of this firing incident that took place, and they have a video which they have put out. You can see in this video how just outside the restaurant there is indiscriminate firing. They are you'll see one bullet after another being fired towards the restaurant. I'll just put the sound up. Let's just first take a look at this video and I'll tell you more details about it. Took place in the Surrey in British Columbia in Canada. The firing incident has taken place outside Kapil Sharma's Caps Cafe, which was newly opened, and in fact it was opened last night, and right after that this Khalistani terrorist Harjeet Singh Laddi has taken responsibility as far as this incident is concerned. Let me very quickly go across to my colleague Mukesh Singh Sengar, who is joining me with more details at this moment. Mukesh, कोई कारण बताया है क्यों इस तरीके से कपिल शर्मा के रेस्टोरेंट के बाहर फायरिंग हुई? और एक बड़ा सवाल ये भी उठता है कि कनाडा में एक बार फिर से कितनी खुली छूट इन लोगों को मिली हुई है?
देखिए, बिल्कुल कनाडा में जो ब्रिटिश कोलंबिया का इलाका है सरे, जहां पर कपिल शर्मा ने हाल ही में जो अपना एक बड़ा कैफे है उसको इनोग्रेट किया था और काफी बड़ा ये प्रोग्राम हुआ था, और कैप्स कैफे नाम से ये पूरा जो कैफे है वहां पर बीती रात कुछ लोग आते हैं और ताबड़तोड़ फायरिंग करते हैं। जो कारतूस हैं, जो राउंड कार्टेजेस हैं, वो आसपास की बिल्डिंगों में भी लगे हैं। जैसे ही हमला होता है, हमले की कुछ देर बाद जो हरजीत सिंह लड्डी बब्बर खालसा इंटरनेशनल का जो आतंकी है, वो इस हमले की जिम्मेदारी लेता है और ये कहता है कि वो कपिल शर्मा के एक बयान से नाराज था, इसीलिए उसने ये हमला करवाया है। हालांकि राहत की बात ये रही कि इस पूरे हमले में कोई भी घायल नहीं हुआ है, लेकिन फायरिंग का वीडियो भी खालिस्तानी आतंकवादियों ने खुद जारी किया है और ये क्लेम किया है कि उन्होंने ही फायरिंग करवाई है। हरजीत सिंह लड्डी भारत में मोस्ट वांटेड है और एनआईए की लिस्ट में वो मोस्ट वांटेड के तौर पर शामिल है। तो काफी लंबे समय से वो कनाडा में बैठकर लगातार वहां से भारत विरोधी गतिविधियों को अंजाम दे रहा है। अभी तक पुलिस ने इस मामले में किसी को गिरफ्तार नहीं किया है, लेकिन जो भारतीय एजेंसियां हैं, मुंबई पुलिस के सूत्र जो हमारे हैं और जो सेंट्रल एजेंसीज हैं, उन्होंने ये कंफर्म किया है कि कपिल शर्मा के कैफे में फायरिंग हुई है और इसके जो फर्दर डिटेल्स हैं वो अवेटेड हैं। लेकिन ये आप देख सकते हैं कि किस तरह से जो खालिस्तानी हैं कनाडा में किस तरह से उनको छूट मिली हुई है और लगातार वो इस तरह की घटनाओं को वहां पर अंजाम देते हैं और फायरिंग करके वहां से निकल भी जाते हैं। तो कहीं ना कहीं एक बड़ा सवाल खड़ा होता है यहाँ पर कि किस तरह से कनाडा सरकार का खालिस्तानियों पर हाथ है और वो ऐसी घटनाएं कर बचकर निकल भी जाते हैं। जी
मुकेश, एक सवाल और, ये जो आतंकवादी है जिसके बारे में हम बात कर रहे हैं, ये खालिस्तानी आतंकवादी हरजीत सिंह लड्डी, इसके बारे में जरा थोड़ा दर्शकों को बताइए, किस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से बिलोंग करता है और इसके ऊपर क्या इन्वेस्टिगेशन भारत में चल रही है?
देखिए, हरजीत सिंह लड्डी जो है वो बब्बर खालसा इंटरनेशनल जो संगठन है उसका एक कुख्यात खूंखार आतंकवादी है और पंजाब का ये रहने वाला है। काफी पहले से ही ये पंजाब से भाग गया था और ये कनाडा में फिलहाल रह रहा है। वहां से बैठकर बब्बर खालसा का जो एक दूसरा आतंकी है हरविंदर सिंह रिंदा, जो कि पाकिस्तान में है, उसके साथ मिलकर ISI जो पाकिस्तान की खुफिया एजेंसी है, इसके शह पर लगातार भारत में आतंकवादी गतिविधियों को अंजाम देता रहा है। इस पर कई सारे मामले पंजाब के अलावा देश के दूसरे हिस्सों में दर्ज है। NIA ने इसको मोस्ट वांटेड की लिस्ट में रखा हुआ है, ये भी जानकारी मिली है। तो फिलहाल एक बड़ा ये आतंकी हमला हुआ है कपिल शर्मा के कैफे पर और राहत की बात ये रही कि उस समय कैफे के बाहर कोई मौजूद नहीं था, तो इसमें कोई घायल नहीं हुआ है, लेकिन ताबड़तोड़ फायरिंग हुई है जिसकी गोलियों की आवाज इस वीडियो में सुनी जा सकती है।
बिल्कुल मुकेश, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए। दैट वाज माय कॉलीग मुकेश सिंह सिंगर गिविंग अस द डिटेल्स ऑफ हाउ दिस Khalistani terrorist which belongs to the Babbar Khalsa International indulged in this entire incident to try and intimidate Kapil Sharma and others. It's believed that Kapil Sharma is unhappy with some statement that was made by Kapil Sharma, and this is the way, in fact, they have shown their disagreement with Mr. Sharma. His restaurant was open, his first international restaurant was open in Canada just in fact last night, and right after that this firing incident has been reported. All right, with that we're slipping into a very short break. On the other side we'll get you the story of the millennial city. It's almost Venice-gram for Gurugram. One rain, one good spell of rain, the roads are completely submerged, broken, and people left to fend for themselves. Coming back with that after a short break.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand.
तू ही तो है जिसकी सच्चाई वाली क्लैरिटी की वजह से मैं आज यहाँ हूँ।
गोल्ड प्लस सिल्वॉक्सी मिरर्स, ऐसी क्लैरिटी कि आपको सिर्फ सच नजर आए, चाहे कितने भी साल बीत जाएं।
जनता के पास सवाल ही सवाल है, जवाब ढूंढने को वो देखती है न्यूज और देखती है यहाँ तो सवालों का माया जाल है। ऊपर से ये अलग फाइट है, कोई पूरा लेफ्ट तो कोई पूरा राइट है, बीच में मुद्दे के साथ कौन है, जनता को जवाब चाहिए। इसीलिए सवालों की परेड नहीं, मैं लाऊंगा खबरों की कचहरी। मैं शुभांकर मिश्रा, मेरे साथ देखिए कचहरी रात 8 बजे सिर्फ NDTV इंडिया पर।
कहना इस दीवार पे इतने इश्तहार चिपके हैं कि कोई दरार नजर नहीं आती। मैं उन लोगों में से जो कहता हूँ सारे इश्तहार फाड़ के फेंको, पहले दरार को एड्रेस करो।
ये दरार इसलिए क्योंकि कुछ लेफ्ट कुछ राइट, पर हम उन मुद्दों में आपके साथ जिनसे आपकी फाइट है। डिजिटल से देश समझा, अब टीवी पर समाधान लाना है। आइए मेरे साथ खबरों की कचहरी में सिर्फ NDTV पर।
Welcome back. Now let's shift focus to, and you know, sometimes it's just irritating also to report on this story because we do it every year. One spell of rain and a suburb in Delhi, Gurugram, which usually makes a lot of news for its real estate prices. People buy 100 crores and, you know, exponentially high property market. And this is what they are treated with. One spell of rain and all those fancy apartments in Gurugram are staring at broken roads, submerged, absolutely submerged roads. When you come out of your societies, the ones that you live in, and you hope that you have escaped India, you know, all those gated societies which you pay millions and millions of dollars for, all societies, and you hope that this is the India that you live behind those walls, and the India that lives outside those walls are two different Indias. This is what you are faced with. Look at these pictures, 4 pictures of Gurugram. It rained for a few hours last night, and there is need water, cars submerged, people, you know, struggling, in fact, for the very basic infrastructure in Gurugram. Roads have caved in. Look at the crater that they have created. A truck, in fact, going into that caved in road. This is what people get paying so much of municipal tax. So, you know, you buy a house, you pay tax, you buy a car, you pay tax, and all you hope that the basic infrastructure would be given to you. This is, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the millennial city. This is so-called one of the big suburbs of India, Gurugram near Delhi. This is where the the IT companies are, the big service industry. This is the picture that we are showing to the world about our development. What do people have to say about this? Because you know, every rain you wonder whether this is the time when Gurugram will present a different picture. Well, Gurugram, it has been an urban mess, and it's once again been an urban mess, like we saw yesterday. Let's listen in to what the people of Gurugram have to say about this.
कल देखते इतना पानी था कमर कमर तक सारी जगह।
हमारे वहाँ जी शिवाजी नगर में सीवर जाम हो जाते हैं, हमारे सारा कल घर में पानी, कमरों में सब में घुस गया,
पैर डूब जाते हैं कमरे में।
मैम, जल निकासी की कोई भी सुविधा नहीं है। और देखिए, प्रशासन की तरफ से कोई भी, मतलब जैसे मौसम की मार होती है तो न प्रशासन की कोई भी एक भी इंसान खड़ा नहीं मिलता है, न पुलिस का मिलता है, न कोई निगम का मिलता है। और सारे जो बिजली विभाग है उसकी हालत ये देखिए, सारे पोलों के जो वायर है ना, जो ओपन खुले। मैं कल की बात बता रहा हूँ आपको, सुशांत लोक सिटी से मैं चला था, मेरे को राजीव चौक का डिस्टेंस 6 किलोमीटर था वहाँ से, और मेरे को आने में वहाँ से 4 घंटे लग गए।
6 किलोमीटर में 4 घंटे? 4
घंटे मैम। मैं 10 बजे चला था वहाँ से, और मेरे को यहाँ मेरे कजिन के पास जाना था, वहाँ पे मैं 1:30 बजे पहुँचा हूँ, नाहरपुर रूपा। प्रशासन का कोई इंतजाम नहीं है, इंसान को राम भरोसे छोड़ रखा है प्रशासन ने, चाहे सरकार किसी की भी हो।
कि हमारे टैक्स मतलब भर के ले लेते हैं, हर चीज़ पे, चाहे माचिस तक खरीद रहे हैं तो भी हम टैक्स पे कर रहे हैं, लेकिन इन लोगों को ये शर्म तक नहीं आती कि कोई बच्चा है, कोई कहीं खाड़े में गिरा हुआ है, या फिर पूरी रोड स्विमिंग पूल बनी हुई है। इसके लिए मैं ये कहना चाहूँगा कि सरकार प्लीज़ अपनी आंखें खोले हमारे लिए। बहुत ऐसी सुविधा होती है, 5 मिनट का रास्ते के लिए हमें 2-2 घंटे वेट करना पड़ता है, पूरा ट्रैफिक जाम हो जाता है। हमें घर जाना है, कोई 7 बजे पहुंचने वाला है, वो 10 बजे तक पहुंचता है, सुबह वापस ऑफिस के लिए निकलता है।
हमको तो ये लग रहा है कि हम यहाँ पे नाव चला रहे हैं, ऐसी चल रही है, डांस कर रही है अपनी गाड़ी यहाँ पे। तो
पूरे भोपाल में घूमते होगे आप लोग, कितनी सड़कों के हाल बुरे दिख रहे हैं।
बाकी ये 10 नंबर है, बाकी साइबर्ड पहुँच जाओ, 7 नंबर पहुँच जाओ,
कहीं भी पहुँच जाए हाल ऐसे ही है।
हाल तो ऐसे ही है।
Amazing what we, the Indian, the people, those who are paying our tax honestly have to go through. What do we get in return is the big question, you know, after all, as we see this urban mess. I wanted to bring you an update about the Vadodara bridge collapse in Gujarat that took place yesterday. It has now claimed life of 16 people. The death toll has gone up. The search for missing persons is still on. This Gujarat bridge collapse took place yesterday. And since yesterday, the only question that I'm asking is whether this should be called a mishap or should this just be called plain simple murder. And why I'm saying that? Because one after another, it's not that suddenly, something happened and this bridge collapsed. This bridge, people have been requesting repair for a very, very long time. There have been questions which were raised. There have been warnings which were given. All that was ignored. And the result was 16 innocent lives have been lost and more than 4 are still missing. There is zero accountability. And this is why I'm calling this the collapse of accountability in the state of Gujarat as far as the administration is concerned. Let's very quickly give you more details about this. Why I'm saying that this is not accident but murder, ladies and gentlemen. This Vadodara bridge collapse, warning signs were ignored. In 2022, this was declared unfit for use by the R&B department. Imagine in 2022 itself. And it's not that it's a very old structure. Warnings were issued by local leaders since 2021. Panchayat level leaders wrote letters after letters. Locals flagged down the run-down state of the bridge where cracks had emerged. The locals also, in fact, said that the damage result of administration owing to unchecked vehicles. They said that, heavy vehicles should not be allowed on this bridge. That went absolutely unheard. MLA Yogesh Patel wrote to the government in 2022 and 2023 warning that this bridge at this moment is unstable. The letter flagged strong vibrations, visible cracks in the bridge, all across the surface of this bridge, but nothing was done. In fact, the letter also said that, it called it a suicide point owing to such tragedies. They were warned, the government was warned that, this could have happened. And despite that, zero action was taken. Now, who should go and face those families, those who have lost their loved ones? 16 people died. 16 people died at the hands of a callous government. An absolute collapse of the accountability in Vadodara, in Gujarat, which has resulted in these deaths and the people, those who are still missing. And as I said, ladies and gentlemen, remember this is not the first tragedy. I had reported on the Morbi bridge collapse as well. And even at that point of time, there were massive lapses on the part of the administration. Even today, none of the people from the administration, the municipal authorities, the local babus in the case of Morbi, which took place in 2022 October, none of them have paid the price. And that is why the corrupt babus and along with them, all those contractors, nothing happens to them. And India is waiting for another tragedy like this to happen. Let's move on. We have come to the end of our program this evening. I want to leave you with these pictures of the Lord himself at the Lords. The god of cricket, Sachin Tendulkar, was at Lords today. He, in fact, rang the traditional bell in the ongoing series, the test series between India and England. Sachin Tendulkar was there at the beginning of the third test between India and England. Both the teams are tied at 1-1 each. Enjoy these visuals. I'll be back. Same time, same place tomorrow.
It's time to ring the bell. There's Tendulkar, always immaculately dressed. Big favorite everywhere he goes. Well done, Sachin.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand.
Malamba village in Maharashtra, where children are risking their lives daily to reach school with no permanent bridge over the Wakedi River. Villagers have built a makeshift bamboo suspension bridge which children are forced to use during the monsoon.
If you are planning to settle in Canada, here's the money twist you need to know before you pack those bags. Canada has quietly tightened the purse strings on its express entry system. So if you're applying under the Federal Skilled Worker or Skilled Trades program, there's a new financial bar to cross. Starting now, to stay in the race for Canadian permanent residency, you must update your proof of funds by the 28th of July 2025. Miss that? You could lose your eligibility no matter how good your profile is. So how much is enough? Well, a solo applicant now needs 15,263 Canadian dollars. That's approximately 9.5 lakh rupees. If you're a family of 4, that's 28,362 Canadian dollars, and that's roughly 17,73,000 rupees. Basically, the more people in your family, the higher the amount, even if some aren't moving with you. Why this hike then? Well, it's tied to Canada's low income cutoff data, basically their benchmark to ensure you can survive without needing help. And you also need to note that updating your fund amount won't affect your original application date, so you stay right where you are in the tiebreaker queue. So if you're dreaming of maple leaves and better opportunities, make sure your bank account is ready for this immigration reality.
गोल्ड प्लस ऑप्टिमिस्टिक रिफ्लेक्टिव ग्लास लगाओ, धूप की गर्मी को दूर भगाओ और बिजली का बिल भी बचाओ।
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of maximum city is infectious. I'm bringing that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti, also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
India's IT capital is always bustling, a city full of startups, stories and surprises. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
गोल्ड
Hello and welcome to the Southern View this evening. Lots lined up and it's time for me to say Namaskaram, Namaskara, Baunnara, Nallarkingla Vasudha.
Welcome Veera and Namaskar to all our viewers. Special focus this evening on the continuing Karnataka power play and the big reiteration from Siddaramaiah that he will continue to be the Chief Minister of Karnataka.
Tharoor tremors continue for the Congress as he hits an emergency button.
And the face-off over the SIR in the Supreme Court today. But first up, the headlines. Khalistani terrorist takes responsibility for the attack on Kapil Sharma's cafe in Canada. The cafe had just celebrated its opening when it was vandalized by these people.
After a woman's viral Instagram post flagging that other women are being filmed without their consent in Bengaluru, a 26-year-old man has been arrested by the police. It's an NDTV story that was first reported.
Well, we also have an NDTV exclusive. Slapper Sena MLA runs away from NDTV questions. NDTV confronts Sena MLA Gaikwad. Slapper Sena MLA continues to give violence threats.
Well, first up this evening, as it has been, may I say so, for many days now, Karnataka power play remained a major news focus. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah categorically reiterating his authority in New Delhi. He declared before the national media what he has stated here in the state, that he's here to stay CM for the full term, and he dismissed any agreement of a rotation of Chief Minister's post with his deputy and state Congress President Kumar there. Vasudha, who met the Chief Minister there in Delhi this afternoon?
That's right, Veera. I was there with him along with other media colleagues in the capital. Earlier in the day, Siddaramaiah he also said that he will be meeting Congress General Secretary in charge Randeep Surjewala, and his statements to the media comes in the midst of intense speculation and DK Shivakumar's meeting with Priyanka Gandhi. DK Shivakumar has made it abundantly clear that he is an aspirant for the top job in the state, but may just have to accept that Siddaramaiah is the larger political figure in the state. What options do I have? His famous statement there.
That's right. Politics, there are always options. Can they ensure that there are no more rumblings in the state, or is this power play and shadow boxing going simmering, Vasudha? That's the key question before the Congress High Command. It's a tough one for the party to balance, but first, listen in to Siddaramaiah.
No discussion taken place. That is my reply. Mr. D.K. Shivakumar himself said it, that there is no vacancy of the CM post. My answer is, whatever decision taken by the High Command, both of us will follow, will obey. No, there is no scheduled program. Neither Rahul Gandhi ji nor Karge ji invited us for party to discuss the issues regarding the party.
Well, so Siddaramaiah has made his position categorical. Joining Vasudha and me this evening, NDTV Sunil Prabhu, who's tracked this case, the developments in the Congress very closely. We'll also have senior journalists from Bengaluru, Ramakrishna Upadhyay and Neerja Chowdhury from Delhi join us in a bit. But Sunil Prabhu, first to you. Siddaramaiah's public statements again today reiterating, do you expect a retaliation from DK Shivakumar in the form of some kind of statements? Because when we spoke to some of his close confidants, they say, well, obviously he has not given up his stake at the chief minister's post at some time during this term.
That's for sure. I mean, he has never given up right from day one. Still believes that he's in contention. He still would want his pound of flesh, because he's the one he believes who helped the party from, ground zero to achieve what is, an impossible victory, as well as a huge mandate, the highest ever in Karnataka. But be that as it may, ultimately, even though he's a strong Gandhi loyalist, and he would like to extract the maximum at this particular juncture, he also realizes he doesn't have the required MLAs. Is he ready to work with the BJP? Is the BJP wanting to do a Madhya Pradesh as it did earlier? These are things that we'll have to wait and watch and see closer to the day. But as of now, I don't think people who know DK Shivakumar will rock the boat and will want to see that his loyalists and friends, and this is what is called an attempt to ensure that they get better nominations in autonomous boards and corporations, while he waits to ensure when to strike at an opportune time to try for that top post. But in this present juncture, as Mr. Siddaramaiah has pointed out, there is unlikelihood. Even Mr. Surjewala, who's the AICC General Secretary in charge, who's worked with both of them, have made it clear that there is no vacancy at this stage.
Multiple things at play here, Vasudha. It's not just the CM post, as Sunil is pointing out. There is bargaining going on for other things like posts in boards and corporations. And then, of course, there will be a cabinet reshuffle at some point of time.
Absolutely. More missiles to be fired and more action that is expected. Let me ask this question to R.K. Upadhyay. Mr. Upadhyay, every war, every battle has an end game to it. What is the end game according to you to this battle? Is it just going to end in 2028 assembly polls?
I think the Congress High Command, the more and more they deny that there is any proposal for change of leadership, they look less and less convincing. I think a time has come when they have to take the bull by the horn, and there is no way they can put off any longer. So they need to get the two leaders to agree to certain formula. I mean, which probably they haven't done at the time of announcement of the leadership. You see, May 13, 2023 was when the results came out, and it took them 5 days to finally select Mr. Siddaramaiah. And I remember it was on the 17th of May 2023 that K.C. Venugopal called Mrs. Sonia Gandhi in Himachal Pradesh, where she was holidaying. And that night, she made a call to both Siddaramaiah and Shiv Kumar and asked him, please, cooperate with each other and form the government. So, but we don't know whether there was a formula for sharing power. So this is where I think the problem lies. There has been total confusion whether they have agreed to, share 30 months or not. So that being the case, now I think they need to, really talk to them and then find out whether a solution is possible.
As you make that, Siddaramaiah has made it clear that there is no rotation of chief ministership that was discussed. And categorically, people close to him have been debunking that rumor all throughout from the start. But very, very briefly, Ramakrishna Upadhyay, there was also the question of the OBC Vokkaliga caste vote. DK Shiv Kumar's presence seemed to have projected in that election a strong consolidation of that vote in the whole Mysore region. Much has changed since then. How do you see the Congress negating that aspect as well? Because the projection of DK Shiv Kumar as a potential chief ministerial candidate is important to hold that caste vote together as well.
You see, Shiv Kumar's contribution is no less. I feel that 2023 result wouldn't have come but for Shiv Kumar also pushing the Vokkaliga votes one way. Remember, they took almost 10% of the votes from the JDS. The JDS got the least in all the 25 years it has been it has been a party that they were reduced to just 19%. So without the Shiv Kumar's contribution, they wouldn't have crossed 130. It's a fact. Of course, Mr. Siddaramaiah is the mass leader and he belongs to OBC, and it's not that easy for the Congress to, ask OBC.
So that's one thing we keep hearing, Mr. Upadhyay, that, it's not easy for the Congress party to replace Siddaramaiah. Neerja Chaudhary, then what is the kind of approach that the central leadership of the Congress needs to have? Does the leadership needs to give out a strong sense of direction to its Karnataka politics?
Hello?
Well, it does, but it's finding it. Yes, of course, it needs to give a very clear direction, which is not yet coming. You have a feeling that the High Command wants something done, but it's not being done. And Siddaramaiah, as a chief minister and a mass leader, cannot be ignored. And if you ignore him, will you jeopardize the government itself? On the other hand, if you don't make DK Shiv Kumar the chief minister very soon, will you jeopardize the government again? Those are the question marks, not easy for the High Command. But if it is true that 2.5 years rotational chief ministership was promised to DK Shiv Kumar, and the High Command is now finding it difficult to deliver on it, as it found it impossible to deliver it to Sachin Pilot in Rajasthan, having promised it to him. And even though the High Command wanted it happen, but Mr. Gehlot, Ashok Gehlot, was senior enough to stop that from happening. So that's the dilemma. What is the moral of the story? The 2.5 years rotational chief ministership is a complete non-starter in Indian politics. It's never worked. It's not likely to work. And if the High Command of the Congress party promised it to DK Shiv Kumar, then, it is naive to have done that. And now they're finding it difficult to deliver on it. My guess is that even though DK Shiv Kumar, rightly so, had a big hand in the victory of the Congress party last time, it's probably going to be very difficult to remove Mr. Siddaramaiah and in his place DK Shiv Kumar, unless that happens, in the next election. That's likely, provided, of course, that the Congress party retains power then in 2028.
Right. Well, you're making an important point. Once given the chief minister's post, no one's going to vacate, not the veteran politicians of the old guard who still remain strong. But Karnataka is not the only problem for the Congress. It's not just Karnataka that's posing tough questions before the Congress High Command, Vasudha. The Tharoor trouble in Kerala continues for the party. Is he forcing a political emergency for the party in Kerala? The Thiruvananthapuram MP, who has given the party several uncomfortable moments in the recent past, gave it one more hit on the emergency years.
Right, that's right. From calling it a dark chapter to mentioning forced sterilization by Sanjay Gandhi, today Dr. Tharoor wrote a scathing article in a Malayalam daily. In the article published on Thursday, he reflected on the emergency, citing excesses that followed its imposition and people's verdict that eventually voted Indira Gandhi out of power. Congress MP Manikam Tagore, in a post on X, said, and I quote, "When a colleague starts repeating BJP lines, you begin to wonder, is the bird becoming a parrot?"
Well, Manikam Tagore's bird is Tharoor and the parrot is BJP. But is this the last straw in the Tharoor Congress saga? What next for Shashi Tharoor? He's in London and has refused our request for an interview here. But Neerja Chaudhary and Sunil Prabhu still with us. Sunil, what are you hearing as far as the Tharoor dilemma is concerned? Is it really close to parting ways, or do you believe that this kind of equation will continue through the Kerala elections?
Well, it's really testing the patience of the Congress leadership. They have been upset for a long time. It's not the first. They have warned him a number of times, and this is definitely putting fuel to the fire, simply put. And how long will they tolerate it? Because they can't afford the Kerala Congress to be at this present juncture in a tight spot, because the LDF is been in power for 10 years. The United Democratic Front, of which the Congress is the main constituent, will be contesting, and they need to have their house in order. They can't be a divided house. Shashi Tharoor's remarks keep helping not only the LDF but also the BJP, which has been able to open its accounts in Kerala, in particular in the from the Lok Sabha. So it's in that backdrop we'll have to wait and see how things play out, because this is not something that the Congress High Command has been happy with, and will definitely is being tested as we speak.
Important point, Sunil Prabhu. You raised the question of Kerala.
Cage, right? That's possibly Manikam Tagore's next question from his tweet.
Right. Neerja Chaudhary, how do you look at Dr. Tharoor also putting out a survey, talking about his own popularity in Kerala? Because the recently held by-polls in Nilambur also shows that the UDF, after 10 years of LDF, seems to be in a comfortable position there. Is there a sense of desperation, at least from the side of Shashi Tharoor, or is he just upset that he did not get his due?
Look, whether you're saying Shashi Tharoor is being overvalued as far as Kerala is concerned, possibly, I don't know. His constituency is popular, and but that what happens? Suppose he has to stand as an independent from that constituency. Will the BJP candidate make way for him, and will the BJP give him tacit support in the next Lok Sabha election? Those are questions that hang out there. And how popular is he in Kerala? He's not very popular, I'm told, inside the Congress. And the Congress is pretty comfortably placed, as the by-election showed. Now, Shashi, as far as the BJP is concerned, they would like Shashi Tharoor to remain in the Congress and use him for different assignments, for whatever they want to use, as they did when he was sent in one of the delegations that went abroad to talk about Operation Sindoor, and was very effective, putting across the government's line. But as far as the Congress is concerned, he's a constant thorn in their side today, and they don't know what to do with him. If they expel him, he'll retain his Lok Sabha seat. If they suspend him, it's a little more difficult. He may have to toe the party line. So Shashi Tharoor's relationship with the Congress, I think, has now gone beyond a certain line, and there's complete breakdown of trust. And therefore, he's repositioning himself, but also probably looking to find a new role for himself, which may not yet be fully clear. I doubt very much that he will join the BJP. Or the BJP would like to take him. There's been a lot of buzz that he may replace S. Jaishankar as Foreign Minister of India. The BJP, if it does that, will be admitting a huge failure on its part in foreign policy, and that involves the Prime Minister also. And Shashi Tharoor is too independent. They would worry about that if they were to take him inside the BJP and make him a cabinet minister. So
it's also a question of image loss just ahead of an election in that state, Neerja. I think grassroots politics on the one side, But has it come to a point of no return? Well, Shashi Tharoor has handled several rifts diplomatically. Will he make an effort to reach out to the High Command? One doesn't know, but it's a complex situation there in Kerala, Vasudha, for both Tharoor and for the Congress. Thanks very much, Neerja and Sunil Prabhu. But now to a Chief Minister and his ministers on a strike, refusing to turn up for work in protest against the Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry. Chief Minister N. Rangasamy and ministers from the All India NR Congress skipped work for the third consecutive day, Vasudha, intensifying their protest.
Absolutely. They have accused Lieutenant Governor Kailashanathan of overreach in administrative matters. The flashpoint include the reshuffling of IAS officers without consulting the Chief Minister and the recent appointments of Puducherry Civil Services officers. Kailashanathan has been an advisor to Prime Minister Narendra Modi when he was the Chief Minister of Delhi, considered as one of those influential bureaucrats.
Right, that's right. NDTV Sam Daniel now joins us live. Sam, given that it's a coalition government in Puducherry between the BJP and the NR Congress, it is embarrassing the kind of face-off that's playing out between the governor and the chief minister.
That's right, Veer Raghav. In a sense, it's a repeat of what happened during the Narayan-Swamy-led Congress government versus Kiran Bedi, the then governor. A tug of war which became a huge controversy. And this time being a coalition government with BJP members being ministers in the cabinet of Rangaswamy. Many would have thought the governor would adopt a collaborative, consultative approach, but it's not happening so. The flashpoint being the reshuffle of the IAS officers and Puducherry Union Service officers as well. The impact is many welfare programs have been hit. Particularly 150 lecturers in senior schools, their contract or tenure have not been renewed by the governor. And it's in this context the chief minister and his members from the party went on a strike, mounting pressure on the BJP, and Surana, the leader in charge of Puducherry, held talks today and assured everything would be sorted. The larger political picture emerging, as many observers point out, is whether the central government is using the lieutenant governor to project the Rangaswamy government in poor light by scuttling welfare programs, so that they'll be able to capitalize in the upcoming 2026 elections, in which already the BJP plans to fight in more number of seats. So far, the governor has denied, but that's the larger perception emerging in the Union Territory. Veer Raghav and Vasudha.
Right, thanks. Right, thanks very much there, Sam. We'll keep a close watch on that. Now to some top southern movie stars in trouble for promoting illegal betting apps. The ED has launched a money laundering investigation against over 20 well-known stars, including actors Vijay Deverakonda, Rana Daggubati and Prakash Raj, for their alleged links to illegal online betting platforms. The case also names several social media influencers, Vasudha, and YouTubers based in Telangana.
That's right, Vida. These are celebrities who are suspected of promoting online betting apps such as Jungli, Rummy, Jeet, Win and Lotus 365, allegedly receiving substantial endorsement fees in return. These platforms allegedly generated millions in revenue through gambling and illegal betting activities, and celebrities reportedly endorsed and even appeared in promotional material for these apps.
Well, this raises many ethical and legal questions. Vasudha, we have senior advocate N.S. Nappinai and social media influencer Pranjal Kamra joining us this evening. But before that, our colleague Uma Sudhir has this quick report on the overall issue.
Brand endorsements by celebrities, whether it's film stars, social media influencers or TV personalities, certainly coming under the radar for various reasons. And in the month of March, in fact, we had reported about the police FIRs that had been launched against these 29 celebrities. And that included, of course, Vijay Deverakonda, Prakash Raj, as well as Rana Daggubati and certain other well-known personalities in Hyderabad. And the allegation against them, according to the complainant, was that the people who had invested in these apps had trusted the brand and the credibility that these stars or celebrities have, and therefore they should also be made liable for these apps that were seen as having cheated them of money. The Enforcement Directorate is now looking at the money laundering angle in this entire issue, suspecting that the money that was paid out, the huge amounts that were paid out, may have been a route for whitewashing of the money itself. these stars had in fact put out their statements defending themselves after the FIRs were lodged, and in that case they had said that Vijay Deverakonda said he had only promoted a skill-based game, and that rummy is something that's been considered as a skill-based game by the Supreme Court. Rana Dagubati had a similar argument as well, and Prakash Raj had said that 2016-17 he had, yes, endorsed Jungli Rummy, but then realized his mistake and had ended the contract and had refused to be associated with it any further. So all these people now expected to be summoned by the Enforcement Directorate.
Pranjal Kamra, 120 million people are involved in betting gaming apps across the country, and this is a huge number, something that goes up every IPL season. Shouldn't influencers also have these boundaries when they come to endorsing these apps? Because clearly addiction is one part. There are also economic losses that are involved.
Oh, absolutely. I don't care about the legal distinction between skill versus luck. I think, that's the bare minimum. Legality is the bare minimum. These respected stars with huge fan following, I think they owe it to us to rise above the bare minimum. They are influential people. Mostly youngsters follow them. What are we pitching them? Even if it's legally allowed, do you want your young, vulnerable audience who's either studying on education loan short on cash or first job that does not pay well and trying to compensate of lack of active income by indulging in such activities? Do you really want your fan base to get into all this? So I don't care about what legality is. These are big influential people. No. I think they need to rise above the bare minimum legality.
Pranjal, this is a very important point that's been made for long, where celebrities need to be more responsible about the products they endorse because they have a direct influence. Yeah. But Napin, is there a grey area in the law as far as these illegal betting apps that results in them being able to operate, perhaps